Assalamualaikum and hello. This is MKRayden. Today we have Reaper, a Mortal Kombat player from Dubai. How did the name Reaper come to your mind?
Actually, there is unfortunately no deep backstory from this. It was just from back in the day. I used to play a lot of COD, and I think it was Black Ops 3 that we first got introduced to specialists. And one of those specialists I really like was called the Reaper, you know. So I chose that name. In fact, my old ID was the Reaper, but then it was changed. So fun fact.
And when did you start gaming?
I started ever since I was a kid. You know, both my brothers are big gamers. You know, so I've always played games. You know, when I was a kid, we were playing Pokemon. I mean, I still play to this day, but yeah, that was something I always played. And then we kind of moved from those Nintendo games into just straight up COD. So for like I don't know how many years, like maybe 9 years straight or something, I played every Call of Duty, and it was all that I did. I even competed in it. But yeah, that was basically before the Mortal Kombat era.
Have you only played Mortal Kombat or did you explore other fighting games as well?
I have actually played multiple fighting games. Again, as I mentioned earlier, my bigger brother was a big gamer, and he had multiple other fighting games. I can't recall many of the names, to be honest, but one of the main ones was Tekken. Also a little bit of Street Fighter, even though I didn't own the game personally. And I also played anime stage fighters. I don't know if you would classify those as fighting games, but yeah, I played this amount of them. That was good.
Many people on the internet are saying Mortal Kombat 1 is a disappointed game. Do you feel the same about it?
No, I don't. No, I don't agree with this. I don't think the game was disappointing. I think it was just the expectations we had. You know, it didn't match the expectations just quite right. You know, I wouldn't say disappointing, just not enough content. Like not enough content-wise for the casuals. You know, like one of my biggest problems is the story mode. Like the story mode has been following this same format that is very, very old. Like it really showed its age even back in MK11, but they kept it in MK1 as well. You know, the fight cutscene, like it doesn't work anymore. You know, like we're not in 2009 again. You know, the stuff doesn't work. They needed to step their game up, learn from past games. You know, they could have had conquest mode, something other than that, to have a different kind of story. Yeah, I think that's the main thing, I would say. Also, just in addition to my earlier thought, when it comes to players saying that the game is disappointing, there's two major things, okay? So there's the casual side of it. So what I mentioned is like the story mode, not enough content, the boring, in my opinion, very outdated and boring game mode that they introduced. I even forgot its name, by the way. I forgot its name, the one that has the puzzle thing. That's just garbage, okay? That one. And then you have the pro scene, or even honestly, even the casual base that you have the actual gameplay, you know, like when you're fighting 1 versus 1. And when it comes to that, this is what I'll talk about right now. The main thing is the cameo system, I think. Like this is the biggest starting problem that people have with it. Not me personally, but what people have with it, you know. It's very, you either like it or you don't like it. Like, you're either gonna play the game and then slowly get used to cameos and think it's just another part of whatever gimmick they have, you know, every single game. Like MKX, they had variations. This is our variations in MK1. Or you're gonna be from another party who thinks, you know what, I hate cameos, I don't like this, why is there so many things on the screen? You know, the game is way too fast-paced at times even, you know. So, you know, understandable from both sides. I personally think it's good for the game. Like it's something different. It differentiates it from different titles. I enjoyed it personally. I don't think it's too bad. But here is my personal problem with the game. Okay, here comes my personal issue with the game. So the part that I don't like about the game is the DLCs and the way they are introduced to them. I should say, not DLCs, but updates in general. You know, the updates have been, in my opinion, not very good. So you would basically have one broken thing about the game. Let's say when the game first started, we had Cyrax, everybody using Cyrax, cameo. We had the Cyrax meta, as I like to call it, you know. And then they said, okay, yeah, this is stupid. We just have people doing special into cameo. We don't like this. Okay, so they nerfed Cyrax. Then comes a few weeks later, people actually discovered, well, we can do the same thing with Striker or whatever cameo. Boom. Also now Striker got nerfed after a few weeks over that Striker matter. And now, okay, no more Striker. Guess what? DLC comes around. We have cameo. We have a new DLC cameo, which is Chameleon, and it turns out it's even more broke than anything they've released earlier. So basically, what I'm describing right now is the cycle we had, we've been having with MK1. So what's the cycle? The cycle is you release something broke, you fix it, and then you release something more broke, and then the meta shifts there, and then you fix it, and then something more broke, and we just keep doing this, you know. Although this very latest patch, I haven't seen that same exact thing. Like, yes, some people will say maybe the current meta we have some havoc problems here and there, but it's not as crazy as it was in my opinion. So I think the game right now, gameplay wise, is in a decent spot.
You are a Kenshin Takeda player. So would it be fair to say that Kenshin is a broken character or not?
Here's the thing, okay? I've played Kenshi since the stress test. So even before the beta, played him since the stress test, okay? I do think he's obviously a broken character when he has you sandwiched, okay? And there is another point when he's broken is when he is able to pull out center on block. Okay, so these two scenarios are when Kenshi is at his best. When he has you either center out in your face on block, which is unfair, or when he hits you and then you're sandwiched. This is broke also. But I do think that people are grossly overestimating how good the character is. Okay, they're very much overestimating it. You know, because unless you are using an ambush cameo that help you set up Sento and jail him on block, okay, unless you're doing that, the character is not that good. Okay, in my opinion, not that good. Okay, now we're gonna say, okay, what should we do about this? They should always keep it so if you throw out an ambush cameo of any kind, Sento cannot be pulled out at the same time. I don't know why this is that hard of a fix. Like, I don't think so, you know, but they are not doing it. So yeah, so that's what we have with Kenshi.
If you compare Takeda MK1 with MK's Takeda, which version do you think is better?
I actually think so. Comparing Takeda from MKX. So comparing Takeda from MKX to MK1, what they did is basically they took the character from MKX, all three of his variations, and tried their best to put him into one. You know, I wouldn't say they absolutely nailed that part of it, but I prefer him in MK1 over MKX. Absolutely, I prefer him. He's way more fun. There's way more valuable. There's a lot more style at play when you're playing him. You know, like one of the big things they did. I think a few weeks after he came out or something, they changed how the low shuriken works. So I'm saying low shuriken when in reality it wasn't a low, it was a mid. So the character was just strike throw character. But after that one buff that went, the kunai went from a mid to a low, all of a sudden the character became super strong and super work. Because now he can do multiple setups, he can 50-50 you on the spot if he wants to. Setups with the specialty sector, you know, hard to blockables, safe jumps, stuff like this. Like, the character, in my opinion, is the most fun I've had in MK1. Like, if the character hasn't been out, I probably would have heavily decreased my time on the game, for sure. Like, he's keeping the game super fun for me.
Have you ever participated in any major Mortal Kombat tournament?
Yes, I've played in many Mortal Kombat tournaments. Like, none of the major, as in the pro tour, pro competition tournaments. Like, the only one I played in, that one is the online one, the pro competition one, which I won, like, I think one of the qualifiers. And other than that, I play in a lot of online tournaments. You know, we have a lot of great community members here, do a lot of online tournaments. Reps Arena and different people. Hammo also does really good major tournaments online. Those are very good also. I enjoy them. I join them as well.
How do you see the 3D MK era?
The MK3D era, in my opinion, is a little bit controversial, because some people don't like the aspect of the 3D gameplay, the way they did it, the actual gameplay itself, you know. They prefer the same style of the original MK games and the NRS games, where you don't have the 3D stuff, What I think about it personally, I think that era, the Midway era, was arguably or had arguably the best story mode. Like the story part of it was the best in my opinion. The conquest mode was just so good.
What do you think makes the EU player stronger than Middle East player in Mortal Kombat overall? For example, in games like MKX.
Okay, this is wrong, by the way. I think this is a big misconception. I don't think EU players are stronger than ME players. Okay, and the reason for this misconception is people are attributing false credits. Okay, so you have players like Faisal Combat, Moody, Neo, Hammo. Like all these players are very, very talented, super high level, and people watch them online on different streams and stuff, and they think, oh, these players are from EU, when in fact they're not. They are from the Middle East. So if we did a 5v5 team battle, for example, I don't even need to use my big guns. I don't need to use Tekken Master or Faisal Combat or Solki. We don't need the big guns. Okay, we can just use our regular players, and they are good enough to beat the EU players. Okay, so in my team, in the ME team, I will take Abu Bandar, Abu Isam, Hammo, Neo, and let's throw in a Gerard in there as well. I think these guys are just good enough to just win. Like we don't even need the rest of people. So yeah, as I said, the Middle East players are definitely better than EU.
Which is the best NRS Mortal Kombat game, and which is the best Midway Mortal Kombat game in your opinion?
So let's start from the Midway Mortal Kombat game. In my opinion, the best Midway Mortal Kombat game is definitely in Mortal Kombat Deception. I have very good memories from it from when I was a kid, and even to this day, the game holds up. So if you put the game right now and play it, it's so much fun with friends. And even if you play it alone, you can play Conquest mode. There is also my favorite mode in there, just combat. So yeah, the game was complete. The story mode also was perfect. So the best NRS title, in my opinion, is definitely MK11. It is the most, it's their most complete work, in my opinion. It had a decent cast, decent gameplay, in my opinion. And especially during the COVID days is when the community got together. I got to represent the Vanilla Clan in multiple online tournaments. It was great. I think the Vanilla Clan also won a few majors here in the Middle East. So yeah, it was just great.
So Reaper, who's your favorite character in Mortal Kombat?
This is a very, in my opinion, tough question, because I've gone back and forth on it a lot. In my opinion, it probably has to be either Fujin from MK11 specifically, and if we just talking MK in general, I'll probably still say Kenshi.
Which character do you think is the most versatile character in Mortal Kombat game?
The thing is about Mortal Kombat games, if you notice, it's very hard to pick just one versatile character, because in every game, the characters themselves, they don't play the same, So Kenshi from MKX doesn't play the same as Kenshi from MK1, or Fujin from, I don't know what 3D Mortal Kombat game doesn't play the same as Fujin from MK11. So it's difficult to say which one is versatile in that way. But if I just had to pick, let's just say from MK11, in my opinion, the most versatile in MK11 was Fujin. And in MK1, in my opinion, the most versatile is Takeda, actually.
Reaper, thank you for joining the podcast. Take care. Allah Hafiz.